Good morning. Welcome to the Keilat Shari Torah daily review of Maimonides' 613 mitzvahs, the Sefer HaMitzvot, for Friday, August 6th. We've been talking for the last few days about civic legislation, about courts, bailiffs, officers, judges, testimony, and so on. It's a fascinating mitzvah, quite out of the ordinary. If you're not familiar with it, stay tuned because we're going to be talking about it at the very tail end of next week's parsha. At the end of Shoftim, we have the mitzvah of Egla Arufa. Let me just read you what the Sefer says here. Positive Mitzvah 181, Egla Arufa. By this injunction, we are commanded to break the neck of a heifer, of a cow, if we find the body of a murdered man in the field and it is not known who committed the murder. This is discussed, as we said, in chapter 21 at the beginning of the chapter. It's a short chapter of towards the end of the parsha of Parsha Shoftim coming up next week. This is the law of breaking the neck of a heifer. Its provisions are explained in the last chapter of Tractate Sota. So when we come upon that tractate, hopefully speedily in our days, we'll discuss it in depth. Here's the note. In the course of the procedure prescribed by this commandment, the elders of the town, had to repudiate responsibility for a murder when that is found. The elders of that city washed their hands, that's the origin of that phrase probably, with water over the place where the heifer's neck was broken. And they have to say, our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen. That's Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 7. And then it asks a question here, could it enter our minds that the elders of the court were shedders of blood? Are they the people who committed this murder that we haven't found the perpetrator of? What they mean is it not the case that this person may have come to us for help and we sent him away without food? We saw him journeying and we left him without escort. Again, this is a quote from Tractate Sota, page 45b. Question being that the elders, the governing powers of a settlement or a town, a city, have not only a responsibility to make sure the courts are functioning properly, as we've discussed over the last couple of days, they also have to provide an atmosphere where people care for each other, take care of each other, where the welfare of even, especially perhaps, the most vulnerable, those who are hungry, those who are traveling, are looked after. So, while on the one hand we don't say that the elders of the town are guilty of, God forbid, of having murdered a person, we do place on them some degree of responsibility for allowing the situation to be such in a city where a murder could take place. Okay, a lot more to talk about that. Hopefully we will come to that in due course. Next mitzvah, as also we've been discussing in our Torah readings recently, to establish cities of refuge, Are Miklat. This mitzvah tells us we should set aside 6 cities of refuge to be in readiness for a person who commits an unintentional killing, to build roads leading to them, to make the roads level, leaving signs to indicate the way, and have nothing in the path of those roads that might hinder a fugitive from flight. What are we talking about? A person who commits what we call manslaughter, which is an accidental murder without malice, without planning, a forethought, and all that, nevertheless is responsible for the death of a person. That person isn't culpable for punishment because there were no witnesses, obviously, there was no hasra, no warning of the person of the consequences of what he was about to do, because nobody knew, least of all him, that he was about to do it. Nevertheless, there is a concept of goel hadam, that the family of the victim may have some thoughts of vengeance. So in order to protect that, we construct these cities of refuge, as the Torah instructs us, so that they will be protected from any such attempts to exact vengeance. Okay, last thing we'll talk about today is Positive Mitzvah 133, assigning cities to the Levites. We have to set aside 48 cities, as discussed in the week before's portion, for the Levites. Not contiguous territory. This is cities in different portions of the land of Israel, so that the Levites, the tribe of Levi, Shevet Levi, will have a place to live, even though they're not given a portion of land to work as the rest of us are, because of course their task is to minister and perform the functions that are incumbent upon the whole Jewish people through them in the temple. Nevertheless, we do have to have them live somewhere. So these Levitical cities are designated in various parts of the land of Israel. Okay, we'll pause there. Let's talk a little bit about Shabbat. Earliest candlelighting this evening is 7:04 p.m. Candlelighting is 8:50. Actual candlelighting is 8:15 p.m. Now, here's something that gives me great pleasure to say. We will be opening at 7 p.m. for Mincha and Kabbalat Shabbat, which we have not had, I believe, since the beginning of COVID here in the shul. So if you'd like to join us, please sign up for that right away. Just send an email or go to the website and let us know that you're coming so we can keep track of who's here. We expect to have enough places for everyone, so that shouldn't be a concern. But we will this week, Emir Hashem, and next week, at very least, we will be piloting the return of Friday night services at Kehillat Shari Torah. So if you'd like to join that, please feel warmly welcomed to that. It is Shabbos Mavarchim this week. It's the month when we bless the new week. So I should tell you when we're blessing the month. Hold on one second. We are blessing the month of Elul, which begins, Rosh Chodesh is Sunday and Monday. So let's see when the Molad is. The Molad is Sunday, August 8th at 10:43 and 10 parts. The Molad, the reappearance of the moon in Jerusalem, the eternal and undivided capital of Israel. The Molad vet sein, Zontig in der Früh, 10 Zeger mit 43 Minuten mit 10 Chalokim. Okay, 10:43 and 10 parts. Sunday morning is the reappearance of the moon in Jerusalem, and Rosh Chodesh is Sunday and Monday, a 2-day Rosh Chodesh. Okay, so that's the excitement for that. Shabbos Mavarchim will also be having an Ufruf. We'll be calling up a Chatan, a young fellow who's about to be married in the coming week. We'll be calling him up for an Aliyah and showering him with sweetness. So if you'd like to be part of that, also please sign up. Let's see, Shachris will start at 10 o'clock with our slightly abbreviated Shachris as we've been doing throughout COVID. And Shabbos ends 9:21 p.m. tomorrow night, and Zoom Havdalah, please join us for that at 9:31. Have a wonderful Shabbos, and we'll see you in Shul, maybe Friday night, maybe Shabbos day, and certainly soon after that, please God in good health. Shabbos.